Let's not waste any time, guys. Here's the blueprint to making $10,000 a month as a total beginner in 2024 in the next 90 days. I'm about to walk you through a 5-step process that so many people are using to achieve financial freedom that you can copy too. I've been trying to make money online since I was 18, from doing dropshipping, SMA, all the different business models to doing lead generation. There was no YouTube guides on exactly how to start a lead gen business and how to get to where I am today. So with the stuff that I've documented and everything, you should be able to get there a lot faster than I did. So without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, guys, so step 1 is going to be knowing your limits. Now, what I mean by this is not diving into something that has super high startup costs like dropshipping, or something that's super niche and out of your skill range like coding. Now, the risk of getting negative returns from dropshipping and actually climbing out of that rut is never talked about or discussed when people talk about dropshipping. I can personally attest to that because I'm telling you, with dropshipping, you have to spend hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars on ads and you might not make that money back. So some people will go do something stupid like taking credit cards and putting thousands of dollars on that ad spend, and then they're not going to be able to pay that back. So they're going to have to get another job and climb out of that debt. So when you get into that rut, it's very hard to climb out of it. And then with something like coding, it's a very good skill to have, but it's not something you just learn in like 2-3 months. It's something that takes years to master and years to make a lot of money from. And you really have to work your way up the ranks like a corporate job. It's not like you could just be within 12 months, you could be $1 million coder. Now, step 2 is going to be finding something that you can afford to make mistakes in. Mistakes in business should be learning opportunities that you can learn from along the way. They shouldn't be something that completely derail you and make you start from zero and make you have to climb out of a rut, especially a financial one. That ties back into the first point, because if you make a big mistake in something like dropshipping, like you spend a lot of money on ads and you don't make that money back, like you're done. Like $2,000-$3,000 down the drain, you're gonna have to work a job again, save up that money again, and start from zero again. Now, that leads us quickly into step 3, which is choosing your niche. Now, for lead generation, the main niches that I would suggest beginners to go after are marketing agencies, B2B SaaS companies, and consulting companies. These are all companies that have high ticket services, which means they're gonna be able to afford your services, because you never wanna undersell yourself. And then we move on to step 4, which is crafting your offer. What you need to do with this is put together a bunch of I help statements. So for example, if I'm working with a B2B SaaS company, I would say something like, we're helping B2B SaaS companies like company name generate 10 qualified sales appointments every single month on a pay-per-call basis. Now, what this does is a couple of things. Number 1, it's talking specifically to B2B SaaS companies. And number 2, it's completely de-risking the prospect, which is exactly what you need to do as a beginner. How does that make sense? Like, what is de-risking in this example? So you're doing it on a pay-per-call basis, meaning that they're not paying you unless you generate them calls. So they don't really have any risk there. They only have to pay you for results that you get for them. So that completely makes it so much easier for them to say yes to you. And that's exactly how I got my first client back in 2021 for $2,000 setup fee and $350 per every call. And that actually allowed me to leave my 9-to-5. And lastly, guys, step 5 is creating a list of leads. You could use a tool like Apollo.io, which is what I teach people in my program to use because I think it's the easiest one to use. Basically, what you do is you want to find the email addresses of the decision makers of the niche that you select, and then put that in a list, and then send emails to those decision makers with your offer, and then continuously do that over and over until you book sales calls and you get clients. And then once you get those clients, you do the same exact process for them to help them get leads. I actually have a full video showing how Apollo.io works and a full walkthrough of that, and I'll link that in the description below. But for now, I'm just going to give you a short summary. First of all, you want to stay out of anything that's out of your skill range or that has high startup costs. Number 2 is to dive into something that you can afford to make mistakes in. Step 3 is to actually choose your niche. Step 4 is to craft your offer and make sure that it de-risks your client and makes it easy for them to say yes to you. And step 5 is to create a list of leads, send those emails, and start getting results for clients. The reason I create these videos is so that other people don't have to waste all the years that I did to learn the skills that I did. It took me 2, 3, 4 years to learn all the skills and to build that foundation. But with these videos that I put out, you could be making money within the first 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, however long it takes, way quicker than I did. I mentioned earlier, guys, that I had a video that goes into the nitty-gritty of how Apollo works and some really good tips and tricks on how to make lead generation a lot easier and a breeze. You can check that out in the video card above or in the description below. And I will see you in the next video, guys.